What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Tuesday. Just your average Joe hanging out in the garage. My name is Joe. Appreciate y'all hanging out. We have quite a few comments to go over today, so this might be a little bit longer video than normal. Well, really, probably not any longer than normal. I'll just try to hammer through it. Maybe 45-ish minutes. We got like 13 orders from Friday through today. Sales been pretty slow. I did not hit goal over the weekend because you got to figure we had the holiday Monday. So really Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today's Tuesday, 4 days. We didn't quite hit goal. So it is what it is. But we'll go over all the sales as well from eBay. And let's go ahead and dive in. If you have not hung out with me before, I've been reselling full time on eBay for about 8 years. But I've been buying and selling stuff on eBay since 2000. Long, long time. Used to sell my books back instead of selling them at the back in college, my college days. Instead of selling them back to the bookstore, I would sell my books back and sell them on eBay and make like triple the money on my books. So that's kind of what started me through the down the eBay path. Was way back when I was a wee little boy. Back when Western Union and money orders, and it was crazy back in the day. But anyway, so if any of y'all have been around that long, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we got orders to go over and lots of comments. So my last two videos, I did processing videos upstairs in my bonus room, kind of showed off, just a little glimpse of what I do. I'll probably do that from time to time. Heck, I might even do that again this week at some point and show you guys another glimpse of some of the other stuff I'm processing, because I got a bunch of old school like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, things like that. So I'll probably do another video of that sort just to show you guys how I do that stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I've got a lot of questions or a lot of comments. So let's go ahead and dive in and start the day off. Hopefully your sales have been going well. Mine are, like I said before, it's fourth quarter, but things typically pick up, but we're not quite, I'm not, my sales aren't hitting like they should. I'll just say that my sales are not hitting like they should. So I may end my sales promotion and my sales promotion and my marketing or my marketing promotion and my sales discount. I run those typically simultaneously all the time. I'll probably end those, give it like 24 hours, and then reset them and see what happens. And I'll probably go a little bit more aggressive because, as I mentioned before, my strategy is I start high. So if I see comps at a certain item for 40 to 60 bucks, I'm going to start at the $60 range. So I know when I go on a sale, and I usually pick the said item up for $5, so there's tons of margin in there for me and pretty much everything that I pick up. But so I'll probably go, I'm saying that to say I'll probably go more aggressive since it is fourth quarter and I do want to hammer out a bunch of sales and start getting some cash flowing and get a lot of this stuff out of here. I'll probably go 20% off, maybe even 25% off. I may go 25% off just to get stuff up out of here because I'm still going to make money. I'm still going to double or triple my money in a lot of cases on a lot of things that I've picked up. So even with 25% off, because I do start high, then I'll be in a very competitive place on a lot of my items. So, and the reason I do that is because, and that's why I don't get a ton of sales, probably like I should be getting, is because I do start on the high side and I set it and forget it. I do offers, high end, and a lot of times stuff will go on the high side or people will send me an offer for a little bit off and I'll accept the offers. But that's just how I do it. That's my strategy. There's all different strokes for different folks. Some people start undercutting and then that's how they move a lot of their inventory and don't sit on a lot of stuff, is because they undercut and they just move. That's another way to go. Everybody again has all different ways you can do stuff. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So whatever you do, whatever your strategy is, I may change strategies possibly. I've never really been the guy to undercut and get stuff and list it low, because especially with video games, I put so much time into cleaning and maintaining and resetting and getting all the controller juice out of them and making them look nice, that I really don't want to undercut myself on system video game systems and things like that. Now games, maybe I can undercut. Clothing, other categories, possibly I could start doing that, because I get clothes like this brown sweater, this should sell. I think I got it up for 20-25 bucks. I bet if I put it up for 15 it would probably go, and it's I got it for like $1. You know what I mean? So even at 15 bucks, it's a win. But it's been sitting. Now, granted, I got it early in the spring, so now with it being wintertime, it might sell for the 20 or 25 or 20 or 25 that I have it up on. So that's why I kind of do the way that I do, is because some things are seasonal like that. So, but again, to each his own. There's no right or wrong answer. It's what works for you. And as long as you're flowing the cash that you need to maintain your business and to maintain what you need for you and your family, then, sometimes the way, why change anything? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Why change anything? I still haven't done the cross listing like I've talked about. We talked about it a couple months back. I haven't brought it up in a while because we've been kind of consistent. We haven't had any home runs lately. It's been a while since we've had any home run weeks, $2,000+ in a week. It's been a long time since we've had a really, really good week. But we've been steady around $1,300, $1,200 to $1,300 a week, which is close to what my goal is weekly. So I haven't really been motivated to cross list and do that kind of stuff, or undercut and change my strategy and all that kind of stuff. So again, if you have the room, I've got the room. Now if I start busting at the seams with inventory and I can't, I'm not moving stuff and I'm not hitting goal, and then I'll obviously at that point re-strategize and maybe make some changes. But again, whatever works for you, for what you've got going on. My way is not the best way for folks that don't have a lot of room and you want to get through your inventory quick. And so that would be probably a better strategy, would be undercut and go that route. And so that way you can move because you don't have room to hold stuff. You can't just sit on stuff for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months before it sells for premium. You know what I mean? And some folks just don't have that option, or whatever your situation is, you need to keep cash flowing because you're purchasing at a high level, so you got to be selling at a high level. So in order to maintain your purchasing, you got to sell stuff. Obviously that's I can sit on things a little bit longer. I've got couple streams of income, so if things sit for a little longer, I'm okay with that. Now if this is my only source of doing business and my only source of income, I probably would have a different strategy, because I would want to move to create more cash flow so I can buy and make money, and kind of turn the wheel faster. But it's just one of those things. So anyway, I'm rambling at this point, but appreciate you guys hanging out. Hopefully your sales are going well. Let's dive into comments, because I have a feeling we're going to be rambling on some comments for a while today. First comment through is Tahoe Realm. Says, Joe, thanks for system testing info. For all of the different games that need to be tested, do you have a test bench with all the different systems that make it easy to test the games? So Tahoe Realm, I don't have like a quote unquote test bench. I just don't have the room for like a quote unquote test bench. But I have majority of the systems. I think I mentioned this in the video when I showed off my bonus room. I've got a PS3 backward compatible, which can test PS1, PS2, PS3 games. I got an Xbox 360. I've got the PS4. I've got an Xbox One. I've got a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, a Nintendo. I've got a Wii. So the only thing I'm really lacking is OG Xbox, a Wii U, and like Sega. That's about all I can. GameCube. I don't have GameCube, but the Wii, it does play GameCube games. So the Wii actually is backward compatible for GameCube games. So outside of those three, Wii U, Sega, and OG Xbox, I don't have the option to test those easily. But like I mentioned in the video before, if typically with cartridge games, if you clean them with the isopropyl alcohol and you get all those pins nice and clean, in my experience, do I actually test every single one of those? No, because once you clean them, 99% of the time they're going to work. I've yet to have any returns for non-playing cartridge games. Now do I actually test them? No, but I know once you clean them bad boys, you're like 99.7% good to go that it's going to work. Discs that look great, I don't typically test those either. I don't have time to test every single game. I will put in the listing tested, and if I do run them through my JFJ resurfacer, which does work very well. But if the disc looks good and it does not have to go through my resurfacer, then I'm going to call that tested good. If it looks clean, it looks nice. If you want to say you're telling people you're doing something you're not actually doing, that's fine. I'll take it on the chin in those cases where it happens to not work. But again, when discs look clean, have no scratches, look good, I call it tested and I keep it moving. I'm not going to sit and test those games, because again, it goes back to like 99.7% of the time those games are going to work no problem. Now if they got scratches on them If they need to go through the JFJ, I test those. I do end up testing all those games with the systems that I have. So again, I don't have a test bench, but I do have majority of the systems on hand, set up, ready to go in my personal collection, where I can just kind of throw games in, test out, and in those cases where I got to throw them through JFJ, or in those cases that they are scratched up and I do want to just confirm that they're working, those games I do test, and that's how I do it. So hopefully it helps there. Next comment up. And obviously, if you've got space, if you want to set up a whole test bench, I know they make like the Universal, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega box that it's like a little gaming system that you can put like all the old school cartridge games in. You can buy one of those so you can test out all your stuff. But again, in my experience, if you clean those pins with the isopropyl alcohol, 99.7% of the time that game's going to fire up, no problem. So I don't waste my time testing all those games. I make sure they're clean. I make sure they're good. I clean the pins. And again, up to this point, I've had zero returns on cartridge-based games where I've cleaned the pins. And I learned that because I haven't cleaned pins in the past, long time ago, and I've had some issues in the past where people say, hey, it's not loading, it's not working. So ever since then, there was a while, again, this is all growing pains. There was a while there where I was testing every single one, cleaning it up, isopropyl alcohol, testing it, cleaning it, testing it, cleaning it, testing it. I've yet to come across one, and that's why I don't do it anymore, and I don't waste my time anymore, because I know 99.7% of the time, if I'm cleaning those pins up with the alcohol, it's going to fire up pretty much every single time. I've yet to come across one that does not fire up unless it's damaged. And typically you're going to be able to tell the cartridge is jacked up or something like that. So then maybe in that case, I'd test it out, make sure it's good. I would say maybe in a rare instance, well, not even then, because the batteries on those things don't usually leak. So the like cartridges, like your Pokemon cartridges and stuff like that, or games that have the batteries, those disc batteries, but those disc batteries don't typically leak. Once they go out, they just go out. They don't leak all over your board. So anyway, that's just how I do it. You can throw shade at me in the comments, but if you want to, you should test all your stuff. Well, that's fine. The volume of stuff, and I'm a one man band. Again, I know games enough to know if the disc is good, it's pretty much I'm confident enough to say it's good to go. Is it actually tested? No, but I put in my listing, it's been tested. And if I end up getting a return on it, or somebody says it doesn't work, 9 times out of 10, well, actually 100% of the time, I'll just refund them. Now, there are times where I've tested games that do have scratches, and I've tested it and it loads up fine on my PS3, and then the customer gets it and says, hey, it's not working. Again, in that case, I'm just going to refund the customer. It's not worth it to deal with a return unless it's a high dollar game. And I'm just going to refund them their money, because there are rare occasions where that happens, where your system fires it up and it works, and then it doesn't work when they try it. Or I don't play through the game when I do test it. So that means, if they're playing 2-3 hours into the game, and then all of a sudden it just, it hits that little scratch that, I didn't get to when I fired it up, and it doesn't work. Again, that's pretty rare. That doesn't happen. In fact, that's maybe only happened to me once or twice to this point in all the games I've sent out, where they've come back at me like a month later, not even a month, maybe even if it's over a month, I'll take care of them. But they've communicated later, like, hey, I was playing the game and it just kind of froze up and it won't go past this certain point, chapter 3, whatever, this, that, Resident Evil, blah, 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 whatever it is. And I'm like, well, we did test it to make sure it fired up and stuff, but we don't play through the game to make sure the whole thing works and it plays through to the end. So, my apologies. Here's a refund, or how about a partial refund, or whatever the case is. How about $3 to have it, if you happen to, I usually start off with how about $3 or $5, if you have a local spot that can do a resurfacing on it, because the some stores, depending where you live, gaming stores will have the high speed awesome resurfacer that like makes it look like mirror again. And a lot of times they only charge $3 to $5. So usually I start off with, hey, if you have anywhere local that does resurfacing, I'll pay for the resurfacing, and give you $5 refund or whatever, and you can go have it resurfaced and it should be fine. And then which has happened once or twice, not often, but again, out of the thousands of games I send out over the years, or tens of thousands of games I've probably sent out over the years, that's only happened a couple times. So then if they're like, well, I don't have a place locally, then I'll be like, okay, no problem. I'll just refund you the $15 or $10 or whatever it is for the game. So, or if it's a high dollar game, I'll just be like, go ahead and send it back and I'll refund you, no problem. Like the NCAA, in fact, that just happened on NCAA 14, like a few months back on PS3. It was scratched up a bit. I ran it through the JFJ. I tested it on my PS3. It worked no problem. It loaded up. The guy got it, said it doesn't work. Well, I'm like, okay, well, let's, you know, that was a $40 game. So I was like, well, go ahead and send it back. I'll send you a refund. I get it back. I throw it in my PS3 again, fires up, no problem, works. So I sold it again. The second person that got it has yet to say there's anything wrong with it. So that was, you know, I'm not sure what was wrong with the dude's system. Maybe the laser was going bad, or was just a weaker lens, whatever, but it just wasn't reading through and it gave him a problem. But my next customer that bought it and me, myself, had no problem with it when we tested. Same thing just happened actually on Saw. Now that I'm saying all this, it's memories are coming back of recent stuff. Saw. If you guys have been with me a bit, Saw, that just happened in the past month or so. I sent Saw out on PS3. The guy said it wouldn't load past the loading screen, or wouldn't download the full game. It got stuck at like 64% because Saw downloads first and then it goes to the loading screen. Well, he said it kept getting stuck at 64%. And I'm like, I tested this thing. I loaded it up on my PS3 and it worked no problem because it did have a couple scratches on it. So again, it goes back to, I do typically test the ones that have scratches on them to make sure that they're loading up and working. I got it back from him. I didn't even throw it through my JFJ at that point because it was pretty clean outside of a few little light surface scratches. So I threw it in my PS3, boom, loaded up, went to the opening screen, did the whole download. I took pictures of it and sent it to the guy and said, hey, I'm not sure what's wrong with your system, but it loaded up on my PS3, no problem. It's working, boss. So, you know, kind of poked at him a little bit because, you know, again, it goes back to, will it always work in a different system? Should, but it doesn't always. So there's another example recently that happened where, and then I resold it again to somebody, and that person's yet to say there's any problems or any issues or anything like that. So, you know, games can be finicky, I guess, from time to time. Not normally, but you know, there are those occasions. But anyway, let's keep going because we had a lot of comments, and at this rate, we'll be on here over an hour. Big Bo from B-Town. By the way, Tahoe Realm, thank you for comments and thank you for questions. I appreciate it. We dive into that stuff, and hopefully it helps a little bit. Big Bo, and I know I ramble. I'm sorry. Big Bo from B-Town, thank you for commenting. Road to 1,000 subs. Thanks for the video, Joe. Well, Big Bo from B-Town, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for commenting. And as always, thank you for your support. And Winston Wolf replied to that and said, amen. I appreciate you, Winston Wolf, again, for your support as well. Gave you a little heart there. Rodney says, Rodney, I think this is the first comment you've dropped for me. I appreciate you commenting and hanging out and watching. Let me reply to yours. He says, I find you showing the process incredibly interesting and entertaining. I appreciate the realness, boss. Well, I appreciate you hanging out, and I appreciate you watching and supporting. And hopefully I've dropped a few nuggets along the way to help you through your journey, man. That's what it's about. So thank you, Rodney. Next one, Winston Wolf says, that troll was obviously projecting his own insecurities. Keep trucking, Joe. Trust me. Again, Winston Wolf, thank you for your continued support. Yeah, you know, I troll the trolls back. It's fun. Let me make sure my mic's on. All right, mic's on. I was about to say, man, I'd have to reset this mofo. I troll the trolls, but yeah, I don't let them get to me. I find it entertaining actually sometimes. So the Dark 25, again, thank you for commenting. The Dark 25, appreciate your support as well. I've seen you comment now several times. The Dark 25 says, no problem, Joe. Keep up the good content, and those that appreciate you will always have your back. I got to get a fire under me like you and clean and list all the consoles I have. I hate clothes. They are slow sellers for me, but they do eventually sell. They do. I hate clothes. I haven't said it in a while. I think I said it for the first time in a while, a couple videos back, but I haven't said it in a while. I hate clothes. I pick clothes up. I got racks of clothes over here, guys. I got racks of clothes. I mean, I've got some clothes now, and I got like 3 bins right here full of clothes, and then I got that are on eBay, and then I got like 4 bins over on the other side on my processing side that I need to post on eBay. I hate clothes, but they do sell and they do make money, and so I do dabble in clothes. Those are slow movers typically, like I do. So, but yeah, I have pretty much gone through almost all, I'm halfway through all the systems, I'll say that. I got a PS4 I picked up yesterday, a PS4 with the VR headset in the box still for $140. It came with like 4 games. So 3 of the games go for about $10 a piece, $12 a piece. So, after shipping and stuff, I might make $20 off of them after shipping and such. So, I'm in about 120. Typically PS5, PS4s, 1 terabyte is the thing, and it's clean. It looked like it hadn't been used. So that's part of what I articulate in my listing. And this thing is excellent condition. It looks like it's been in your grandma's bonus room and hasn't been touched. Like sometimes I'll say things like that in my listing, in my description, to help articulate the fact that this thing is clean. It looks like it just came out the box, brand new, like new looking. So I typically in that case we'll try to get 170-ish, 160, 170. I used to get 200 for those, but the prices have come down a bit since last year. So I'm gonna try to shoot for like 169.99 and see what happens with that one. And then the VR headset, same thing. Thing is clean, looks brand new, comes with everything, has the 2 wands, which those are extra, comes with 2 games. The demo games I'm gonna throw in with those. And I mean, this thing is clean, has the original box and everything. So because it's getting close to Christmas, that should come in and get a premium because it's got the box and it's like new. So I'm gonna try to get like 150, 160 out of that. So I'm in 120-ish after I sell the 3 games, and should be able to get 300-ish out of the 2 deals, give or take. 320-ish, maybe 330-ish, somewhere in that range. So I think that was a good pickup from Marketplace. So still doing some Marketplace deals, and you can get good stuff. Flip to 100 is my motto on Marketplace. Flip to 100. So that was an easy flip to 100. I'm putting out 140. I should get 330-ish out of it all. After fees, maybe 3 something. So that's definitely a good flip to 100 plus. I will say I also had, and this is the problem with Marketplace, I had a Super Nintendo. The guy, we agreed $120 of Super Nintendo with 5 games and 5 good games, all about $15 to $25 games. And then the system, the hookups, a controller. Normally a Super Nintendo system with like Donkey Kong or Mario normally goes for about $150 for me, give or take. And then the other games are just going to be gravy. So that was another good flip to 100 plus. This mofo, man, everything was good, everything was gravy, and then like I'm 10 minutes away from the meat spot, and I message him, say, hey, I'm about 10 minutes out, I'm gonna stop for cash, I might be a few minutes late. He blocks me. I was like, you son of a beep, beep, beep. That's the problem with Marketplace. It's the Wild West. So he either, one of 2 things happened. He was just a scammer, just some douchebag getting a kick out of having people meet him that he isn't going to meet, and that's how he gets off. I don't know. Or 2, he sold it to someone else in the meantime. It was only like an hour, but the other thing is he sold it to someone else for more because he was asking 150, and I asked him if he would take 120. He said yes. So maybe somebody offered him the 150, and he just decided to block me, even though we were 10 minutes from 10 minutes from meeting each other. So that's the problem with Marketplace. Sometimes you get burned by some douchebags. Luckily, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen, and you just gotta keep rolling and go to the next one. You know what I mean? It just and just try to pick up on those cues and clues. Looking back on it, the way he was responding to me was a bit odd, but I didn't really think much of it. But now I'm like, yeah, I probably should have seen that coming, man. It's just the way he was replying to me was just a bit odd. So anyway, so there's that. Let's keep going. The Dark 25 again. Appreciate you. And yeah, get through the death pile, man. I know how it is. Like I said, I started that whole ramble off by saying half of my table is done. In fact, I'll show you guys my table real quick. I haven't showed my table to some of y'all in a while. Now I'm not too embarrassed to show it off. It's getting cleaner. It's getting cleaner finally. You can actually see the table. So what are y'all looking at right now? So those are all my bins full of stuff. 2 of them are empty. One's empty. One's got video game stuff in it, like Atari stuff. Like the boxes only. It doesn't have the games. It does have an Atari in there. I'm just waiting to kind of eventually come across an Atari bundle and marry the games with the empty boxes, because they also have the manuals too. There's like 20 of them in there. So I'm just waiting to find that 1 or 2 deals with a bunch of games. I don't look too often, but I always forget that I even have that, to be honest with you. But that's the strategy to play there, is marry the games with the empty boxes and manuals. Cause like I said, there's like 20, 25 game boxes with the manuals. I'm missing the games. So that's the strategy there. The other ones are I got my softball stuff up there, but the other bins are full of clothes. As you can see, there's some military stuff there, and then there's like 3 other bins full of clothes, maybe even 4. I can't remember at this point. So there's that. That stuff is like, that's death pile. I need to get to that once I'm done getting through the game systems. So game systems, I got. Let me not make. Hopefully, you guys are a little more stable. A couple N64s, controllers, a Wii, a GameCube. There's a Genesis with the Sega CD. That's probably one I'm keeping, but that's back there too. Then 2 Nintendos, another Sega, another Wii U. Most of the stuff is pretty clean. So you pick up things that sometimes they're janky, nasty, and yuck. I mean, it just is what it is. And they can even have bugs in them sometimes. And we can get into that conversation as well if you guys want to, but I probably won't right now. And sometimes the bugs are still alive. There's a strategy there. If you think there's anything in your system that's alive, what you do, and it's at least what I do, and this is a little nugget I'm gonna throw at y'all. If you think there might be some creepy crawlers, and German roaches is the worst, because they are the worst. And we've had a German roach scare once or twice in my 5-6 years. Well, I've been doing video games now for about 2-ish years, give or take. I've been doing video games full time, or is my niche. I've niched into video games over the past 2-ish years, maybe 3. Not to say I don't sell other stuff. You see, there's a remote control, and we got clothes, we got all sorts of stuff. But video games has been more my passion over the course of the last 2.5-ish years. But there have been, over the 2.5 years, there's been probably 2 German roach scares. Luckily, we've hit them head on, and we were able to keep them from multiplying and really having an infestation, which is great. We've had our bug people. I have Home Team Pest Defense. They've come out and under my regular service have really come out and put a ton of stuff out for me to help keep that at a minimum when we had those scares. They do have a service that you can pay like $600 to have an actual infestation service done, but that's a bunch of extra money. Luckily, we were able to kind of, like I said, hit them head on early before they really start multiplying, with putting down different bait stations and hormone things that keep them from reproducing and all that kind of stuff. Because once you see one, you got to hit it head on quick, or else they're gonna. And typically, it's been here in the garage, or I had a scare in my bonus room as well. Bringing something in that's got. So now what I do is, if I have any concern that there might be, and luckily we haven't had an infestation. We've hit both of the two of those occasions where we were able to stop them before it got to a point where it was a problem. I'm rambling now, but anyway, where am I going with? Oh, if you have any concern that a system you pick up, because I know that's something people are concerned with, is exactly that. Let me see, my mail lady. Hey, question for you. Are you doing the regular mail right now? Do you mind coming back after your route before you head back? Because I got like 13 packages I'm working on right now. Yes. I appreciate that. Thank you. You have a good one. All right, I'll have them on the front porch like normal. Okay. Thank you. Let me make sure the mic is still on. All right, good deal. So, where was I going with that? So if you have any concern that your system has anything in it that's still alive, wrap it up in a plastic bag, probably 2. I've done it. I double bag, and I throw them in the freezer for 2 days. That pretty much takes care of anything that's inside of the system. So if you have, and then you think, well, is the system going to work still? I've done this a handful of times where I've thought usually you can smell it. It's usually there's a smell, and then if you have any red flags that there might be something in there, and obviously there may be some times where they're clean and there's a straggler in there. If it's a male, you don't have to worry so bad, but if it's a female, you have to worry, because then they'll start multiplying. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, if you have any concern that there might be a problem, double bag them up in trash bags, throw them in the freezer, 2 days, typically. At that point, I think after like 6 hours or 4 hours, they die off anyway. But I keep that bad boy in there for 2 days. And then I let the system thaw out for like 2 days. And then every time I've done it, the system still work. I blow it out with my air compressor. There's sometimes you'll see the carcasses come out and get blown out. So you're like, thank God I did it, because I knew there was something fishy about this one. And other times there's nothing. And so you're like, so then there was, no worry, but at least you were proactive. So that's how you kind of stay ahead of the game when you ever think you might have a roach issue with the system you just got. Because again, some of the stuff I get, like the guy I got stuff from Flowery Branch down in Georgia. He's my connection down there when I go down there for my football helmet stuff. Well, he does storage units, so he gave me a whole system, a whole box full of systems out of a storage unit that were nasty, janky, just gross. I threw all them bad boys in the freezer because I was like, I'm not trying to have. I don't think there's a problem. I just think they're gross and they were smoked around, but they didn't smell and didn't look like there was roach infestation. But I just was proactive and threw them bad boys in the freezer for 2 days and let them. And then, from that point, it kills everything. So, anyway, that's my little nugget for you video game resellers. But this stuff is all clean. I was getting into all that to say that sometimes you get stuff that's really dirty, nasty, and janky, and sometimes you get stuff that's really clean. The stuff that I have left on the table right now is mainly just wiped down with a rag, or wipe down with a disinfectant wipe. It just fingerprints and just maybe little odds and ends to wipe off. Most of the stuff is pretty clean in the grand scheme of being a video game reseller. Because as you know, if you do video games in systems, you come across some nasty, janky systems that are just gross and take a lot of cleaning. And so again, these are all pretty clean, but once I get past this stuff, and these are my tires. I don't think you can see them, but I got new tires for my truck. I got to put on my truck. But once I get through this, the only thing left on my processing table is the clothes, which that'll be the next thing I start tackling. And then, if for the folks that don't know, and I've talked about it before, here's all the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64, all my cartridge stuff that just sits here. It's been just collecting dust, sitting in a pile, and it's all good stuff. Donkey Kong, Mario 2, Mario 3. It's all the good stuff, basically. Like I said, I've already filtered through it. So all of the filler stuff, the cheap games are all out. Kirby's Adventure, another Mario 3, Double Dragon, another Mario 2. We're going into Super Nintendo. You got Battletoads. You've got another Donkey Kong, Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Final Fight, Mega Man down here. I mean, there's just a bunch of really good stuff. Not really good. Well, there's some really good stuff in there for sure. But that's my rainy day pile. I don't call that my death pile. That's been sitting there for like a year now. Kurt knows what I'm talking about, and Jose and Winston Wolf and some of the guys have been hanging around a while. That just accumulates. I just added like 7 games to the pile when I picked up the Nintendo. I think it was these 4. When I picked up the Nintendo, or anytime I pick up cartridge-based stuff, I typically just add it to the pile. If it's good stuff. If it's filler stuff, then it goes upstairs in my filler container. And when I process a Nintendo, then those filler games will go with it. Now I always put a Mario with a Nintendo system, so it'll be a non-filler game like Mario plus 4 fillers. In fact, I'm looking here. I saw Tetris is in here. Tetris, I believe, is considered a filler. I think this is only like a $9 game. I think I need to look it up again to confirm. It might be a $12 or $13 game, so it might be in the right pile. But that might be a filler. I can't remember. Some of them I look up. Some of them I just try to go off the top of my head from what I remember. But that's the processing table. I've got a bunch of games down here that are case only, all just case only stuff. So if I can marry it with, if I come across the disc, I can marry it with the case. And then eventually what I do with that stuff is I will eventually purge it and just sell all of it, and just the cases only, because there's some good ones in there, like you got Zelda. So like this is like a $7,500 game. You got Dragon Ball. It's like a $30 game. You've got just some good. I think there's Silent Hills in there. I think there's 2 Silent Hills in there. So I could sell those. I may so usually what I'll do is like the big titles I'll pull out and sell them case and artwork only. If it has the manual, obviously I'll put the manual on there too and sell those individually, because some of those big titles, the cases and manuals only go for like $30-$40. And then all the rest of them I'll just do as a lot and just sell them all as a lot. Like all the most of the regular titles, I'll just lot those up. Same thing with controllers. I don't have the controller box. I think it's buried under there, but I got a box that I just have full of controllers. You can see the bedding I got back there from, we just redid my daughter's room and she got rid of her bed. So we're in the process of giving that to the in-law. the in-laws. They just haven't come and picked it up yet. But I'll do controllers, same thing. I'll basically all controllers that don't work, I will all the controllers that don't, I will put them in a box. And so like I've got a box somewhere, I think it's over there. It's full of like 35 controllers that don't work from all different systems, and I'll put them up as a lot. Put those up and just sell them all at one time. So basically, that's how I do all the controllers that don't work. It's just another little strategy that I do. Again, there's no right or wrong there, but hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, let's keep going because we got a bunch of comments still. We're already 35 minutes in, so this will certainly be an hour. Next one up is Mark says, let me reply to Mark. I know I went off on a little tangent there again, me rambling. Mark says you have no idea about your miles. No, because I do gas only. So I don't do miles. And then I do all my repairs and all that separate. So I don't do miles. I can tell you I only put, well, let me see what it says. Maybe check your service receipts from mechanic. I drive over 20,000 a year, so it's like $13,000 discount, I think. I drive every day to drop off packages like FedEx, though. Yeah, so I don't do that. My truck, if you can see my truck, I've got an Adrenaline, Sport Track Adrenaline, and it's a pretty rare truck and more sporty. It's a 2008. I've had it since 2010. It's my baby. I love it. I don't put a ton of miles on it, even though I use it for work. I probably put no more than 10,000 miles a year. I can tell you that. Closer to like 8 to 9 is all I put on it a year, and most of that driving is, yard sales or just. I mean, I don't leave the house a ton, and a lot of our trips that we go on, we're normally taking my wife's Durango. It's a newer Durango. It's a 2021 or 2022 Durango. So we'll usually take her vehicle for trips and things like that. Now, I'll take it to the lake and we tow it to the lake, and I'll take it to Georgia. But again, in total, I'm only putting out about 9,000 miles on it, give or take a year. So I don't do mileage at all. I do gas, all my gas receipts, and all of my repairs, maintenance, tires, brakes, whatever. Headlights, I got a new headlight for it because the headlights got a leak in it, so I got replaced. I got a new headlight sitting over there. I need to install. Oil changes. In fact, I haven't. No, I do the oil changes because I do. Yeah. So oil change stuff for oil changes, all that kind of stuff. I basically all goes on a spreadsheet, and that goes to my accountant at the end of the year. So I don't do mileage. I do all of my expenses and my gas, and I throw that all under in the spreadsheet, and I send that to my accountant. So yeah, I mean, if I was driving 20, 30,000 miles a year in my truck, and I was going to FedEx every day, and I was dropping off packages every day, and I was doing all that, then maybe going mileage would be a better option. But I do it based on expenses, and obviously it is my personal truck too, but it's my work truck, so it serves dual purpose. And I would say most of the miles are driving around town doing pickups and things like that. But luckily, my pickups are 3 miles down the road. 90% of my pickups I do 3 to 4 miles down the road, which is awesome because there's a nice area, Harris Teeter, nice shopping area. There's a high school down there. So you're talking 7-8 minutes from my house, and I'm at a pickup spot, and that's normally where I do majority of my pickups. So I'm not driving all around town. It was that 8 miles round trip to go do a pickup typically. Not to say I don't drive further to do pickups, but 75% is a good number. 90 is probably high. 75% of my pickups are all right there. I don't do any driving to do drop-offs at the post office or FedEx or nothing like that. And if I do, that same shopping area that I just mentioned, I try to knock out 2-3 birds with one stone. If I have a USPS drop off, I drop off there. If I don't have a pickup scheduled for USPS and that needs to go out because eBay, it was a bigger item and I didn't have a pickup set for my football helmets, so then I got to ride up there. I typically go up there to do Jersey Mike's 2 to 3 days a week. I pick up Jersey Mike's from up there, so I just kind of incorporate that stuff with doing deals, dropping off packages, whatever, because it's only, like I said, 3 miles or so up the road. So for me, it's just convenient, and that's just where I'm at. And I don't drive a ton in my truck. I mean, a tank of gas lasts me sometimes 2 weeks easily. So anyway, hopefully that helps a little bit. But again, different strategies, different play. All right, next one up is shipping 123 says, brother Joe, shipping 123, and Mark, thank you for commenting. And shipping 123, I think this is your first comment. Thank you for commenting. Says, brother Joe, sorry I haven't been commenting. Oh, is it not? Have you commented before? For some reason, I don't remember shipping 123. Well, I appreciate you hanging out and watching. I'm relocating from East Coast to Midwest. Keep up the great, and stop giving time to the haters and bots. Thank you. I know the haters and bots. Damn those haters and bots, man. Um, you are above them, and we enjoy your videos and education you provide us all. Well, I appreciate that, shipping 123. Hopefully, I've been able to give you a nugget or two. Hopefully, your trip or your move is smooth. I know sometimes they can be a nightmare, especially once you get all your stuff. I was a military brat, so we moved a lot, and I know sometimes the moving part is therapeutic because you're like, it's fresh start, set all my stuff up fresh, new. I get to redo my room or redo whatever. Because sometimes you just get you're stuck in the same thing like we have here for so long. Um, and so that's great. But then when you get your stuff and start unpacking it, it's like, man, this is broken, that is broken, blah blah blah, and it's a nightmare. So, but hopefully your trip, your move has gone smooth. Where in Midwest are you going, by the way? Hey, Zeus says, average Joe, that man cave testing room office is absolutely awesome. The lessons from the average Joe never ends. Gracias, Joe, and cheers. Well, hey, Zeus, thank you again as well for your continued support. I appreciate it. Yeah, that is like, I guess, my office, my man cave, and my testing room. It's all of the above. It's my tax write-off office. Absolutely. It's where the magic happens. It's where my live stream goes on for my football helmets. By the way, if any of you guys are still watching, the football helmet game or the football helmet room is on Facebook Live. The room is called BTG East Coast. I'll go ahead and show you a helmet that we've got that's going to be in the next series. So you'll see stuff kind of like this. This is an authentic Jaden Daniels. I may have showed this one off already, but an authentic Jaden Daniels football helmet, signed, authenticated by Fanatics. So there's your Fanatics certification on it. It's real legit. It's got the pads in it, real deal. So stuff like that. Again, BTG East Coast. It's on Facebook. So if any of you guys are interested in anything sports memorabilia, mainly football, but we do dabble in a lot of different stuff like basketball, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Luka and some of those guys, and Victor Wembanyama and blah blah blah. Baseball, Chipper Jones and Bryce Harper and Ken Griffey Jr. So I mean, we do have some other things that we mix in. So it's not always all football, but 90% of it is typically going to be football helmets. The other 5 to 10% is going to be other sports. But anyway, if you enjoy any of that stuff, BTG East Coast on Facebook, just search it. It's a private group. You do have to request to join. Just put down you came over from YouTube, and I'll let you in, and you can kind of see what we do on at night. Usually I'm on for about 30 minutes to an hour. Maybe we'll do 1, 2, 3 helmets. It just depends on how many people we have watching and things like that. But we normally do between 1 and 3 helmets a night. So it's fun to hang out, and it's just another way of making some money and having a good time and helping folks build their collection. So, but yeah, and then the processing table or the processing and all the other stuff. Not that damn man cave used to be very bare and was just for me. And then as I've started my own businesses, it's progressively gotten more full and more full and more full of just stuff that I need for business. And so it's we're outgrowing it. Me and my wife talked about moving into a different house, so that's possibly something down the pipe. But because you start bursting at the seams, kind of thing. So, but no, Jesus, thank you for commenting. Winston Wolf says you're a beast, sir. You're a beast, sir. Nice variety and consistency. Grade A content. Winston Wolf, again, you are the man. Thank you for your continued support and comments. It helps the algorithm, that's for sure. So I appreciate you, man. We got a few more comments. I guess we have quite a few more comments. All right, next one up is Kurt Basin. Yo, average Joe, change of scenery. Wow, gold mine. Get those games listed, brother. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do as good as you do being a video game reseller and hoard all the good money games. Well, I mean, I come across a lot of good stuff all the time, and the stuff that I do hoard, um, I make up for it in other systems or other categories. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. In fact, you didn't see it, but there's probably 60-ish Switch games. I mean, there's in the cases, and then I got a probably another 60 loose Switch games, and they're all the good Switch games. They're all your Mario's, your Zeldas, your all that stuff. So it's yeah, there is a lot in there, man. Hell, I haven't even got Well, you saw the Pokemon box, but that's not including the GBA or the Game Boy DS and 3DS Pokemon games that I have. I've got a whole case, probably I don't know, 12-ish, 15-ish of those Pokemon games. So like your white version 1, version 2, black, all the other ones. I don't even know the other ones, but there's and they're real. You hook them up to the light and you make sure they look purple. They got that purple hue to them. So if you don't know, those games are faked a lot. The Pokemons on like DS and 3DS. Well, DS are the ones that are the ones that are black. So if you hold them up to a light and you see through, you can see the purplish color come through them. Then you know those are legit. I don't think they've hacked that yet. So, but yes, Kurt Basin. I'm a hoarder, man, when it comes to the good stuff. Because you never know when that rainy day, or you get a couple consistent rainy days, and then you're like, well, I got to tap into that stuff. I haven't had them yet, but I'm sure there's going to be some point, or at some point I won't have anything to list, and I'll be like, well, I got to list some stuff today. Let me start grabbing some of those. Yo, Average Joe, keep up the videos, man. Love them. Big Bo from B Town. I appreciate you, Big Bo from B Town. You got to come hang out in the old helmet room again. Same thing with Kurt. Kurt says, yo, Average Joe, with the PS2 Slim, try pushing down on the lid to see if it will spin with some pressure. It had dirt on the sensor. Just throwing this out there. Chase after the right price is paying 100% on price charting on Pokemon games. Just saying, if I had as many as you do, I would consider unloading them at all for no fee. So here's the thing. Two things to reply to that. Two things. Number one, both PlayStations are no good. The disc tray on the PS2 Fat is totally just stuck, and I looked up a video on how to do it. I could take apart the disk drive and take it all apart and clean this, clean that, blah, blah, blah. Or I can just buy the new one and just swap it out. The problem is you have to take the whole board out, and you have to, the disk drive is like 60, 70, 80 bucks or something like that. When I looked it up, I was like, it's not worth my time. I can just sell this stuff for parts and repair, and I'm pretty much coming out in the same place versus buying all the stuff, taking all the time and fixing it. It's not worth it. So again, it goes back to that. Is it worth it? Is it worth the time and the money to put into it to do it? Is there still a good chunk to make or not? If there's not, then it's not worth it. So the PS2 Slim, I did look that up. I took the case off. I pressed the two sensors, and I had the case off of it because it's like 6 screws and it comes right off. PS2 Slim is very easy to work on. I've done like the fan replacement. I've done a couple of the before I did the cleaning of the lens. I've replaced the lens a few times on those and stuff like that. So those are pretty easy to work on. But you're right. So the play there, or the fix or the test, is to press the two sensors with the case off and see if the disc spins. Well, the disc wasn't spinning. So the next issue now is the spindle is bad. Something's wrong with the spindle. Well, the model that I have, if you have the different model than the one I have, they're like 20 bucks, 25 bucks. So it'd be worth it to replace it. And it's the whole thing, the spindle, the lens, the bracket that it sits on. So you just swap it out, put it in, and you're good to go. The the one for mine, there was no spindle by itself. The model for mine, no spindle, but the unit to swap it in and out was $60. I did an offer for the dude that's selling it, or the business that's selling it. I did an offer for 30 because at that point it's worth it to swap it, and they gave me a counter at 55 bucks or 58 bucks, and I said, no, I'm not spending $55. By that point, and buying a controller for it. I mean, what am I going to make? 30 bucks? I might as well sell it for parts for 30 bucks and call it a day. Or I might make 40 bucks, and I still, for the $10 difference that I'm going to make, it's not worth the headache of even doing it or any of that. So I just put both of them up in one lot, parts and repair, for like $79.99 or $69.99. they should sell at that rate, or, you know, at least 60, 70 bucks. So I should get full price, or maybe somebody sends me an offer for 60 and I'll take it and keep it moving, send them both out, and that's done. Call that a day. I mean, just going down the rabbit hole of watching the videos for both of those was almost an hour of just going down those rabbit holes. So it's like, it's just not worth it. Then, you know, taking this apart, swapping this, swapping that. And then if it doesn't work, then you're back to square one and you're out the money. So it's like, you know what? Like I said, I do fix things, I do tinker with things, but it's got to be worth it, and it's still got to have enough meat on the stick. The juice got to be worth the squeeze, kind of thing. So you just wasn't worth it in that case. So plus they were both janky and had to be cleaned up really good. You know, so there's more time into that, and then again I had to buy controllers for both of them because I don't have PS2 controllers sitting around, so I'd have to buy those. It just wasn't worth it. So both of them are in partial repair on eBay. So there's that. As far as the Pokemon, you're not wrong. I did get the text because I'm signed up for their alerts for the buyback for Pokemon and other things that they're doing 100%. But here's the caveat to that. So let's say I think it was like I looked a few up to see what they're going for versus what the price charting. Price charting is behind, and price charting is an average. So like, for example, I think it was Silver, Pokemon Silver on Game Boy. Don't quote me on the numbers because I don't remember which one it was. But let's just, for example, price charting has it for 60 bucks, right? So, okay, Chase After the Right Price is going to give you $60. Well, they're going on eBay right now for 80, 85. And if the battery's replaced, 100 or 90 or whatever, you know, if it's got the battery replaced on it and it's in really good condition. So it's like, okay, they're giving you price charting at 60 or 55, let's say 55 or 60. But yet right now they're selling on eBay for 80 plus if they're in really good shape and have the battery swapped out on them. So I'm better off swapping the batteries. I'm not good at soldering, but I have done it before. So you know, and again, it goes back to time and all that, but it's worth it to get a premium out of them. And a lot of those are in pretty good shape. There's not many of them with wear and all that stuff on them. So they're all in pretty good shape. So it's a matter of just getting the battery swapped. If it doesn't work, if the battery works, I haven't tested them. So if the battery works, I don't have to do any of that. But if the battery's dried out, then it's a matter, I have all the batteries to do it. For both the Advance and the Game Boy Advanced and the original Game Boy games. I've got both of the, because they're two different batteries. So again, it goes back to, yeah, I can sell them to Chase After the Right Price, but look how much, you know, I'm leaving money on the table. I'm leaving 20, 30 bucks on the table. Even after fees, man, I'm leaving at least $20-ish on the table per game. Versus what the recent comps are. Now, are comps going for the 60? Yes, but that's typically more label wear. The battery's not been replaced. So those are the ones going for the $60 what price chart is showing you. So I again, to each his own, but that's why I have not done and sent to Chase, because I feel like if I change the batteries and or they're working and they're already in good shape, they just need maybe a little bit of cleaning, I can get a premium out of all of them and get that $20, $30 difference out of them and sell them on my own. So anyway, and if it was one or two, maybe I'd do it, but I got like 30 of them. So 30 times 20, I mean, you're talking like $600 or something if I'm doing my math right, but you're talking a lot of money if I do all of them. So nah, man, I'm gonna just keep them where they're at, and Pokemon games are just gonna continue to kind of be hot, and they're not gonna not be hot. It is Christmas time, so they're going for more. I get that, and I might get a fire under my butt and just go ahead and get them up there and do that. But that's why I haven't listed them or sent them to Chase After the Right Price. So again, there's that. All right, next comment. Hey, Zeus says, Average Joe, thank you. I actually thought it was Silent Hill. You got me. As always, congratulations and continued success. Cheers, Average Joe. Yeah, man, I still don't know what game's in there. I tried to get it out there after off camera, and I still couldn't get it out. Pretty sure it's not Silent Hill, but if it is what it is. Hopefully you can fix the systems. As always, thank you. Well, Jesus, like I said, I just mentioned how that went, how that shook out. So yeah, unfortunately, no fixing the systems. They're up for parts or repair. Next one up is Joseph McCullum, 846. Thank you, Joseph. He says, just found the channel. Good video. Well, Joseph, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for commenting. Hopefully you subscribed. This is going to be longer than normal because we got a ton of comments and some sales to still go over. So normally they're not this long. We got 4 more comments. 3 of them are from Mark. I'm going to knock all the ones from Mark out real quick. And again, Joseph, thank you for hanging out and watching and commenting. Mark says, I hate how the Xbox One requires to sign on after factory reset and updates usually for hours. Well, yeah, I do too, man. Absolutely. Me and you both. Also, I hate how all the PlayStations and Xbox doesn't take as long to reset. The PlayStations take for fucking ever. 500 gigs takes like 7 hours. You got a terabyte, it's like 12 hours. It's stupid. I just let them sit overnight and do its thing, but it's like, this is stupid. Geez, you're supposed to use gloves. So Mark also says, geez, you're supposed to use gloves with that strong Goo Gone and for paint and Clorox wipes. Who got time to put gloves on? I wash my hands afterwards. That's about as far as it goes. All right. So next one is the great thrifter Charlie. It's the great thrifter Charlie 9677. So the great thrifter Charlie, appreciate you commenting and hanging out. Again, hopefully you have subscribed as well. Hopefully I've dropped a little something to help you out along your way as well. Cracking through 10 by 20 units, my wife has become a sticker removing queen. Dude, if she's not using this, have her try this. I promise you she'll be like, wow, that's so much better. I promise you, this Goo Gone stuff, if I didn't show it to you already, that stuff is amazing. So anyway, hey, good for you for doing storage units, man. Storage units are a good time. It's like Christmas every day. I used to do storage units frequently, not so much anymore, but I used to do them frequently. And then Mark says, do you store media for testing cameras and VCRs? I have a huge crate full of these items for testing. It takes up a lot of space. Mark, I have a couple cassette tapes. I have CDs still actually sitting in my I have a rack full of CDs. I got a couple cassette tapes upstairs that I use for media. I got a couple like the camera, like the digital camera, what are they, the 8mm or something like that for the digital cameras. So I do have like one of those for testing. And that's about it. I don't have a ton of like for media testing stuff for cameras and VCRs. No, I mean, all I need is a video tape, a VCR tape, which I've got I think it's a Mary Poppins or something. I think it is. And then I got one blank mini disc VHS, VHR, or VCR mini disc for the mini disc or mini cassette camcorders. So I have one of those as well for testing to make sure it records and stuff. I've got a cassette tape for doing cassette tapes, and then I have my own CD rack, which I can do CD test CDs. Outside of that, I don't really have any. I mean, they're sitting in a box. I mean, it's a small little box of just testing things is all I keep it in upstairs. So do I have testing stuff for those things? Yes, but I don't have a huge crate full of those kinds of things. No, I use the same VHS every time, the same 8mm mini VHS for the camcorders. I use the same ones every time. CDs, I just grab a CD from my rack, and I think that's about it. That's about all and a cassette tape. I use the same cassette tape for cassette players. So yeah, no, I just have those few items to do my testing on. So anyway, hopefully that helps. That is it, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to comments. I'm sorry, move on to sales. I think that's the last comment there. That is the last comment. All right, so I'm gonna try to get through sales pretty quick. We had 13 sales for a total of 718.25, and that's again 4 days. So that's not hitting goal. Typically goal would be 200 a day, 800 plus, and that's including shipping and not including fees. So 718 is really less than that. So, but 718.25 is where we're at with the 13 items. Let's start pulling orders, and then I will get off of here. Hopefully we can keep this around 10 minutes, and then we'll get out of here. First thing that sold, Skylanders. These things sit forever. I have looked them up individually. None of them were any good. I mean, maybe $8 kind of thing, but it's a thing of Skylanders. It has 2 pods or 2 what are they called? Portals, and then it's got 3 games with it. But it's a box full of them. Sold them for $45 plus shipping. So there's that. They've been sitting for a long time. I don't recommend Skylanders, but if you do, just put them up as a lot. I mean, if you want to look through them individually, I've heard that there's some high dollar ones, but anyway, this is the second batch I've sold for about $40, give or take. So I will take them in a video game bundle, but I will not buy them. So if somebody has a Wii and they got a bunch of Skylanders and video games and blah, 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 I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'll take the Wii and all that, but I was like, I'm not going to mess with Skylanders, so I'm not going to include that in the price. If you want to throw them in, that's on you, but I'm not buying Skylanders. And I've had people just throw them in the deal. And they do sell, but they sit forever. So anyway, $45 plus shipping. I've had that for probably a year at this point. So again, $45 plus shipping. PS2 Slim with a brand new controller. I'm not going to pull the whole thing out. Then it's got some filler games in there. PS2 Slim sold for $117 plus shipping. A pair of Air Force and One shoes. So these and ones sold for, they're really good shape. And one sold for $23 plus shipping. So they're and ones. There you go. Very, very nice condition. And ones, I think I paid $3 for them. I actually got those when I was in Georgia. I still remember when I got those. Unreal Tournament for Dreamcast. I think I just put, oh, there it is right there. I think I just put these up too. So Unreal Tournament for Dreamcast sold for $18 free shipping. 18 free shipping. Let me go ahead and put that in a case. That is a pretty janky case, but it's just for the purpose of shipping. So there's that. All right. Next thing up, Lego Avengers sold for $11 free shipping. Lego Avengers. Got it. $11 free shipping on this one. Make sure the disc is, do a one over. Oh yeah, that thing is clean. Avengers, Lego, $11 free shipping. A model. I do pick up models. Normally they're right here. Let's see. Is it in the box? Not in the box. Not in the box. Where's the model at? It is a well, Netgear. Well, I feel like it should be right here, and it's not. So, where is the model? All right, I might look for that off camera. Let me jump over to the other side, make sure it's not sticking out at me anywhere on the other side. Oh, it's right here. All right. So model, it's a 1967 Camaro Z28 model, sealed, sold for $17 free shipping, 17 free shipping. Or no, 17 plus shipping. Sorry, they pay 29 total. So anyway, model, I think I picked that up for probably $3. Wasn't the greatest pickup, but it sold. So there's that for more than what I picked it up for. So sometimes that you just take your wins any way you can get them. Siphon filter. Siphon filter sold for $10 free shipping. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right. I always look and double check on my games just because as you fumble through them, you get handprints or fingerprints and things like that on them. So, all right, Siphon filter. So this sold again. If y'all remember the CD changer, that CD changer that came back because the guy said he didn't have the right hookup for it. Well, I had somebody else interested in it, and I think I sold it originally for $270. $270. I sold it again for $260. The guy, and I put no returns this time. The guy was like, you know, I think I can get an adapter. It was a different customer, and I told him that it doesn't have the modulator, whatever that you know, to work on all the different head units. That it works only on the Sony head units that are compatible with it. And he said, "Well, send me a picture of the connector." Sent him a picture of the connector. Well, he originally said, "Yeah, that's not going to work with my setup." And I said, "Well, I'd imagine they sell adapters to be able to use it with different setups or different systems, but I don't know. So, you know, it is as is. So, you know, thank you for your, you know, inquiry." And like 3 days later, he replies and he says, "Actually, I did look some things up and I do think it's going to work on my thing. I had it up for $340. He said, "Would you take $250?" And I was like, He said, obviously, if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to eat it because you don't accept returns on it. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I'll do 260 plus shipping. And he said, fair. So he bought it, checked it out, and there's that. So literally just got that back last week, took a $300 hit on it to give a refund. And then literally within not even a week, resold it for basically the $300 again. So not quite, it was 270 and then 260, but still pretty much broke even on it. And so it worked out perfect. So there's that. Also a headset. I have it boxed up already because it came back in the mail. This one came back the other video. The guy had the wrong address. Well, he checked out again and rebought it. So there's a headset, Xbox headset. So for $31. A Nintendo adapter. This sold for $9 free shipping. A little Nintendo adapter for a Super Nintendo or N64 that so you can do for your RF. Do RF on it. All right. Next thing that sold was Heavenly Rain, Incredible Hulk, and Mod Nation. I just put all these up. So let's see. It'll take me a minute to find all these because I just put up a ton. There's Heavenly Rain. There's the Hulk. I just put up a ton of, and there's My Nation. All my PS3 stuff. So the newer stuff I pretty much put up right away. So Kurt Basin, there's that. But it's the older stuff I hoard. So Heavenly Rain sold for $12, free shipping. The Hulk sold for $30, free shipping. That's a bolo. Be on the lookout. And then Mod Nation sold for $12, free shipping. So nothing crazy. Those are the 13 sales. $718.25. That's not including shipping or fees. So there's that. Again, sales have been slow. Nothing sold. I don't think I sold anything yesterday. Mod Nation sold yesterday for $12. Nothing's yet to sell today. I had an offer on a PS4 camo that I have for $145. I just listed it. It was in the pile. Just listed it like 2 days ago. I got up for like $180, $179.99. I countered them at $165. They declined it. Part of me is like, man, you should just take the $145. But I'm also, the other part of me is like, it's Christmas. It's getting close to Christmas. Somebody's going to pounce on that thing for $170, $180. It's going to happen. So I declined it, or they declined the counter. So it is what it is. Sometimes I regret not taking the offers, and other times I don't. I end up that sells for full price after somebody sent you a low offer, and then next thing you know, a week later, somebody buys it for the full rate. So that happens so often that I especially on items that I just put up. So if it's been an item that's been up for a while, or I know it's a slow moving item or category, a lot of times I'll take that low offer and keep it moving, clothes and things like that. But video games, not so much. Electronics, it's depending on the type of electronic, Bose stuff and things like that, not so much. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I think my strategy for this week is I'm going to end my sales discount, my promotion, and my marketing discount, or my marketing promotion and my sales discount. I think I'm going to end both of them. And then I think I'm going to relaunch it and go more aggressive on my older items, 25% off on anything that's been up for more than like 60 days or 90 days. And anything within that 90 day, go 10 or 15% off. Anything in the past like 30 days, I'll just leave it as is for now. So anyway, that's I think what I'm going to do and see how that plays out and put it up for like 2 months. Go now through like October, November, December, like through the middle of December. I'll put it up for like 60 days and have both of those running for 60 days and see how it goes. So that's all I got for you guys. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. We had a lot of questions today, so a lot of stuff to cover. I know I ramble a bit, but that's just how we do around here. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Hopefully I dropped a nugget or two for you along the way. And hopefully you were entertained a little bit too. I mean, that's but if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoy anything, if you've seen anything, if you like anything, make sure you subscribe and drop comments. I always say it. I love comments. I love addressing your concerns, questions, anything you want to cover, anything specific, anything you want to dive into. Feel free to post it, drop a comment on it, and let me know. and we can do that. You know, I ramble, so I'll dive in if it's a good topic. We can, you know, and if I have the I have the experience on it, I can talk on it, and I have a lot of experience on eBay. So, am I always right? Am I always the best advice? You know, maybe not, but it's from my seat, my perspective, and from how I do things and where I've been and what I've experienced. So that's all I can give you. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Enjoy your Tuesday, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Assuming we got sales, we'll be back on tomorrow. Later, everybody.